My mother, she was born and raised in Jerusalem, and she used to tell me how when she was young, she would walk around on a Saturday afternoon in many of the beautiful neighborhoods in Jerusalem, and I'm talking about the New Jerusalem, the Jerusalem that was built outside the city walls. These were Palestinian communities with beautiful homes, and she would walk around and she would see the families on a Saturday afternoon sitting by the lemon tree and so on. And then in 1948, she was living still in Jerusalem. These communities were forced to leave. Their homes were given to Israeli families, and she was offered one of these homes and she refused. The thought of taking another family's home just did not sit well with her. And then she saw the looting, and she still, to this day, when she talks about it, you can see that she feels such a sense of shame. What's interesting is that I remember hearing this story as a child many, many years ago and over a very long period of time. And it wasn't until I was actually working on the book and I spoke to her about this again that I realized why this story was bothering me all those years. There was something about it that was troubling. And only now I realized it was troubling because it contradicted the national narrative. It contradicted what I learned in school. That the Arabs attacked, we won, they left, and we get the spoils. So what's wrong with taking their homes? If this is the truth, then there's no wrong in taking their homes. They attacked, and we won. It's fair enough. But once again, like I said, hearing the story in the back of my mind over and over and over again kind of troubled me. And this is exactly why. The truth lays in the personal story, not in the national narrative. Now, after the State of Israel was established and the Zionist militia became the Israeli army, 20 years later, 1967, the drums of war were beating. A lot has been written about what happened in 1967 and why the war broke out, and who actually started the war and why. A lot of books have been written about this, movies have been made about this, and it's an interesting period. The Egyptian President Nasser decided to kick out the UN peacekeeping forces that were in the Sinai Peninsula that divided Egypt from Israel. And he entered against the ceasefire agreement that existed between the countries. He entered Egyptian troops into the Sinai Peninsula. The generals saw this as a legitimate cause for war, and they pushed for war. The Israeli cabinet, however, they were hesitant. They were not so eager to start a war. Cabinet members were older. They were in their late 60s, early 70s, most of them. They were born in exile. They came with this whole baggage of exile, of pogroms. This is only 25 years after the Holocaust, and they carried all this, and they were worried that a war might lead to another Holocaust. That a war might lead to another Holocaust. That a war might lead to another Holocaust. That a war might lead to another Holocaust.